This is the Gravitas Ultemvac, which I prefer to call the Gravitas Vac Ultem, which I think it sounds better for me. So this was released like at least more than a year already, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people already covered this or heard about this. But it's from the brand called Gravitas. Yeah, smaller brand based out of Ireland and headed by a man named Ben Welsh. He apparently designed and assembled these pens himself, while the website which I bought this from, Pen Venture, are the one who handled the logistic, basically the one who helped him sales and handle all shippings because apparently Ben West apparently have a terrible time dealing with customer service before making a deal with Pen Venture. But of course, I won't really actually review this, but instead I want to talk about one thing I did with this one. As you can tell right here, I managed to put a Platinum 3776 Sentry nib onto this pen with the help of a custom nib housing from the flexible nib factory, which took a while to come here. But once it's here, I immediately put this platinum nib and feed on the inside into the housing and screw it here into the pen itself. Which, by the way, these threads are Yovo threaded, so you can pretty much put any Yovo threaded knit and feed into this pen if you don't enjoy the original nib. As for the pen itself, well, I'm pretty sure a lot of reviews already say what they already say. It's a personally I think it's an okay looking pen. If you ask me, I mean, it looks nice. People think this is what you call urine color, but I think in person it looks just alright. The color, you don't get. I don't have much yellow pens, but I think it's just okay. It's a vac filler, so lots of huge ink capacity. I do note that what I'm maybe a little disappointed in is that on the first fill, you don't really get that much ink. Like if I were to hold it up like this, you see, this I didn't do much writing with it, but I think this is roughly around the first amount I get on the first fill. I do note that this pen has what you call forward reservoir. Basically, this is a small reservoir right here, which you can fill out by unscrewing the blind cap and let the ink flow in here, and then by doing so you can just close it up and basically just write as much as you want, because usually in vac fillers you want to unscrew the blind cap to allow ink to flow into the feed, but with this ink reservoir you basically don't need to do that. You can just prep in advance how much by filling out the reservoir and just start writing without needing to unscrew anything. So yeah, it's a neat little piece of work. There is some problems such as okay, here's a problem. This is a Ultem plastic, supposedly a little more durable than regular plastic, but I can't confirm if it's true or not. This is type of thing you have to actually use and put it through its paces to really tell. But here's the thing, because it's still plastic and this threads are metal. Here, there's a metal piece here to help reinforce this area where the vac filler once and here will snap once it release pressure. I believe that's the right term. Well, yeah, it's plastic and thread metal, which is concerning because it can cause a lot of stress and these mainly on these plastic threads. So I wonder if these can even hold up over time. The same thing can be said at the back of metal, plastic, which is why I for this part of the pen I put in Scotch tape to help hopefully reduce that friction between the threads. So here's a problem that I noticed though. So sometimes, let's see if I can demonstrate. It seems like it's doing fine, but here's a minor catch that you might experience. Okay, seems like going through just fine. Here we go. So there are some times where you like, let's say if you want to, you just take out the cap off and start writing willy-nilly and then put it back on. You might notice that occasionally the how to say this. I'm talking. I only I try to be gentle here, but sometimes the thread seem to catch, and because it catches, I can't seem to close it anymore. It catches on. And because that it seems that it's a very specific spot, and I kind of found that happening more than once because I had to be careful. I had to search for right spot for it to thread carefully, and you see that, see, it's back on again normally. Occasionally you will find yourself maybe have this thread catching stuck to each other and not screwing. This is quite it was a strange phenomenon. You see, again, this is quite a strange phenomenon because if I never encountered something like that before. Even my cheapest pen were all Chinese made, and yet they never catch before. And they never catch for each other this thread before. So I had to keep searching. When that happens, I had to search, and voila. I mean, not the most tedious thing ever, but it's quite somewhat concerning and surprising for a pen in this price range, roughly 200 euros, to have this kind of problem, especially from Gravitas, where I keep hearing praises for engineering and the engineering and design, but yet that, and not to mention this has been like what, more than a year already, and somehow they still haven't fixed it apparently, because I heard that it was a problem even on first release. So the fact that they didn't fix it a year later makes me wonder if they even bothered to listen to feedback though, or they even heard at all. Hope maybe the reviewers are trying to be nice. What? It's time. Let's try a writing sample. Okay, so I would like to try a writing sample with this. So this is a Tomoe review paper, the new Tomoe review paper, Sensor Tomoe review paper. Unfortunately, I seem to be unable to find the old ones, any of the old Tomoe review paper anymore. So I must well just go with this. It works fine, I guess. So I guess I can show you this. Look at that. Yeah, look at that. It just posts very deeply and nicely. I didn't think I had much trouble at all though. I thought there's still one minor problem. It posts deeply, securely, and this cat is very lightweight. But problem is that it's still a little too long for my hands. That point that just the length alone can back weight a little, not so much and not so tediously, but after some testing on my own during the months I got this, I think I prefer just write it unposted, which is just fine its own. Let's try it out. Do excuse my handwriting. Oh yeah, that platinum feedback, all right. Nice. yeah, just to let you know, this is a broad nib, which I really do enjoy. And as for most Platinum nibs, they're quite, man, that's a really stiff nib for a 14K gold nib, eh? One thing I noticed with this this broad Platinum nib, I kind of notice all the few years I ride with this, which is just two, it it feels a little stubby. As you can tell, the way I get this into focus. Oh, please focus already. Yeah, the way the tip shape makes you think of a sort of mini stub nib of sorts. Even as I write this is quite a. I never write with a stub nib, but this is I think this is the closest thing to a stub nib I gotta write with the way it's shaped. I don't think this my Samsung S24 Plus can pick this up, but this is I can notice a very mild and subtle feedback from the net on paper. And I gotta say this, I do notice that this platinum knit, which is usually a little dry when I usually have it in the original pen body, on this Vac Ultem now, it seems a little wetter, just a little bit. The point that it kind of dampens that feedback a little more than usual. If you write with platinum broad knit, perhaps you understand what I mean. But my experience so far, I think this platinum knit is now wetter thanks to, I don't know, is it because of the fact or because of the custom housing from Flexible Knit Factory? I'm not for sure, but it is very nicely wet, if you ask me. Yeah, as you can tell, as is a pretty wet nib in the end of the day. So what do I think about this? Well, again, I'm not trying to be a super detailed and long review, but essentially, I for the pen itself, I am quite mixed on it. For example, that despite being a good posting, it's still too long for me, so I don't post. And there are some questionable choices. Like, is this supposed to be this supposed to be a tough pen? Because these 2 points, I wonder, will cause some problems in the future if I don't do anything about this. No, adding scotch tape here, but here I don't want to do it because it looks weird. Will the threads eventually wear out if I don't be careful? And secondly, what were the threads? It catches, as I demonstrate, it does catch. It, if you don't, eventually you will find that one spot that will have these threads catch each other, and then you have to keep turning and until finding the right, again, spot where it will thread nicely into each other again. So I'm not sure how could that, what kind of problem was that? I never experienced it, even with my cheaper Chinese pen before. Never happened before. And also, if you're wondering about that, the original nib. If you're wondering about the original nib, well, here it is. It's a string. I'm not for sure. Is this a bulk or is it Chinese nib and feed? It's definitely not, despite being UFO threaded, this is definitely not a UFO nib or feed. I can't I can't quite. I don't think they clarify where they get this feed and nib from. It could be a Chinese feed, nib. It could be bulk. I heard the Chinese default nibs and feed that they made themselves based on bulkness, but I can't confirm anything. But I will say one thing though, this is kind of bland. This when I first got this nib, I inked the pen with watermelon serenity blue. You know, the one that people say that is well behaved, well flowing, wet enough on its own. But when I first tried this, it was really dry and the nib is just so boring. Like it's smooth. It doesn't have any no scratchiness, but it's a very boring experience. That the more I write oh no, the as I continue writing a bit, assemble for myself, testing the nib, I just wanted to not even write at all. It's just that boring, though. So I widened the times, and it didn't do much. So I set this pen aside until the custom feed and custom housing came. But then I decided to try again with this time with Pilot Irosisugu Asagao nib, and now it did actually write decently. It wrote decently, but it's still kind of boring. So this is why. So eventually, I just decided not to record that and just immediately put this platinum feed and nib inside this fact ultim and just don't look back, because this is a very nice. It's always been a nice nib. This just made it better. The platinum cartridge converter gets kind of boring after time, so to have a really big ink capacity on and with a fact filler makes it more exciting. Honestly, for all its flaws, I say this is still a somewhat interesting pen on its own. Just it has some minor flaws that ultimately I would say will give it a make me mix on this overall. Will I recommend it? Honestly, if you ask me, I say just get this on a discount. If you ask me, if you like fact fillers, you can certainly try. I mean, the best way to know if a pen is for you is just to test it out in person, though. And so I say, you can find if you can find some way to test it, then I guess you can definitely tell whether this is for you or not. But for me, if I haven't able to swap the nib, I will think I made a bad purchase. I will definitely regret this. Yeah, so that's how I feel really. I will definitely use this just because of the Platinum Nib alone. But whether or not you can hold this one of my top pens or the pen that I would recommend, doubtfully. That's what I can say. Well, that's all I can say though.